Hey Nappers, it's me, Wild Neptune. In this video, time to test out Prika. But first, we have the puller. So let's go. Come on, please do not be that painful. Let's go. Oh, fake out? It's on number 4, so I'm just gonna skip through here. Okay, Tetra, that's good. It is not Prika. Okay. Nope. A lot of purples. Come on. Nope. Alright. Man, this is, well, 4 is okay, 2. Okay. You know what? 4, if we get it here, we get like 2 off banners. I am all for that. Okay, Tetra. Come on. It can't be like, okay, there we go. Great. Wonderful. Incredible. Terrific. We have one more. Okay, Missilis. Alright. It's gonna be, sure, Maxwell. Great. Alright, there we go. Not that bad, actually. Actually, pretty decent. So let's get to the war room. Okay, here we are in the shooting range, and as always, we have to get a baseline. So this is the first team we're going to use with just the mint, so we can see how adding in Prika and taking out a unit will affect this. So we have basically a full electric rocket launcher team plus Summer Anise over here, so double Anise. Just trying. This is not a team you would really see, I don't think, ever. But we want to give Mint the best chance to do her best by herself. So here we are. Do note that all of these units, at least skill-wise and everything, are pretty heavily invested into. Some of them even have good lines, actually. So here is Mint. She does have some overload gear. This is for her buffs to get her tech up now. I know in my last video she was still 111. She's now 777. Also, she does have a doll on at blue 2 because I was really unlucky using those blue kits. Anyway, we're gonna hop right in here. We're gonna do full auto as always on this, just to get, a baseline. This is just a test. And because the actual fight itself is not the most exciting thing in the world, I'm going to see you in a moment. Okay, so here are the results, 13.6, and we see right here with Anise doing about 2.6, Neon 3.8, Cindy 4.4, and the Summer Anise with Offers doing a nice 1 even overall. So this is what we're going to have to be working for. Alright, so let us go and just change one very simple thing, and that is going to be to take out Anise here and put in Prika. So here is Prika. She just has just a regular blue doll on, is not leveled up, and we're gonna keep her totally ungeared besides this overload gear right here that is not leveled up. For the attack buff, you probably will want to level up at least the left 2. Overall, because of this right here. She's giving that 774. 4 because I don't think that the burst skill, because you're like never gonna use it, is gonna be like that important overall. I mean, it's just a heal and some charge damage, which is fine and all, but not like the most amazing buffs. It doesn't change the duration or anything. That's what these skills are for, and probably what you're going to be wanting to buff up overall. But we want to keep it at, just moderate investment because, again, we're just testing here. So Just hit save right here. And actually, because we get a full auto, what we're gonna have to do is move this like this. So Prika bursts first, and with auto, it doesn't matter because Prika will never burst again because of her kit. So hit save right here, and then just see how it goes. So let's jump right into it. And this one too, though, we're actually gonna look to see exactly what happens in the actual fight with the buffs here. So we're not going to jump out immediately. So here we go. Okay, first things first, here's Anise, and now Prika will go. And there is Prika. Alright, here we go. And we do some damage. Let me pause right here, see what buffs we have right now. So, okay, we have a lot of buffs here. We have these. This is Prika's buffs right here. So all of those, and then there's the more Prika buffs right there. All right, those are Neon's buffs. Okay. So we keep going right here, and now we're going to burst again, and it will be Mint's time to burst. Let's see if we get the burst generation here. There we go. Alright, now let's see where we are right now. Alright. Okay. You know what? Okay, sing along when we're all sing together. Alright, those are all of... Okay, yeah, okay. There is the singing effect. Yep, okay. So it does work. Where Prika automatically puts Mint into singing mode as long as Prika's burst was activated. So, and obviously the rate, the effect hasn't worn off, and it should also have affected Prika's burst time too. So she should still be like 5 years away from bursting again. So let's just see how that goes, and we can go right here and yep, okay, there we go. Okay, so it does seem that is the way that works. So with that all cleared out of the way, let's jump out and move on to the results. Okay, so 12.45, a little bit less than the first team, but I think it's to be expected, especially because the Prika is not really rested in at all. Also, we had the Anise, the Summer Anise 2 for the Electric Week buff of 2, and we weren't going to outdamage that, I don't think. Also, like I said, that last team is a team that you would probably never ever see at all. So these are actually pretty good results. See the numbers right here. I think it'd be a little more fair though to compare it to a team that might actually, not see use, but one a little more reasonable, and that is going to be Maid Duo. So go right here. Before, this has been the de facto like overall best, not best, but like I would say average, like free to play type duo. So like if you're not using Crown, or you don't need to use Mast in another team, like with Crown, you will use this oftentimes in Raid and stuff like that. So here we go. For this fight, it would actually be more beneficial for me to put Cindy first, but I want to keep it the same burst order overall. And once again, we're going to pop into the fight and see how it goes. So obviously, this team will get lower numbers, but we just want to see how much lower it's going to get. Okay, 12 even, which is actually pretty close to the Mint Prika team. Only like 400 mil off overall. Again, uh, probably has to do too that the mast and the anchor are both much more heavily invested into in terms of their skills and their gear and their dolls and everything. So that is definitely gonna put some little bit of bonus their way, but it was less obviously. Now I think a team that a lot of people are going to really compare this to is going to be the Crown team. So we're gonna put Crown in right here, and because I don't want to manual anything here with the main mass, we're gonna put in Privity right here overall. So let me just make sure the Crown has the right gear on the Privity too. Let's put a Resilience Cube onto her, and we will see how this fight goes. I do expect this one to get the highest overall score, but we will see. Alrighty, 14.5, which I'll be honest is a little bit lower than I thought it was going to be. See the results right here. I actually don't know. It has to, right? Privity's debuff has to work on this fight, right? Hopefully it does, because if not, Privity just didn't do anything in the fight. But that's true. Then this is even more impressive overall for Crown. Obviously, I mean, Crown is gonna stay probably the best character in the game for a little while now. We'll have to see what summer brings. But here we are. Alright, so we have some pretty decent results right there. However, I don't think that these are going to be like teams you're really going to really see. This is just to try to get the most damage output overall. So let's go to something that might be a little more, what do you call it? Ideal, I would say. And maybe we'll just have a team like I said, where we just put in this right here, and we just put in lib. Okay, so this was a team that was used last solo raid, and it is the Anise team with the Liberario. Um, in fact, and it used Siren, because in Electric Week, the Anise actually goes with the um Isabel team with Cindy and all that stuff. But for this fight though, we will use Anise just to give both teams the biggest bump possible. So we're gonna go with mates first this time, and the second time around we will use the Mint Prika team. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright, so 11.747 is going to be the uh, score we're going to want to compete with here. So very simple here. Take up these two, put in both Mint and Prika. Mint has to go over here. Let me find Prika, here she is. Let's make sure that everybody has the correct stuff on still. They all do. Alright, so just carve right in. Exact same thing. Remember, 11.747 was it, or was it 474? I don't remember. Let's just say 11.7 for the overall score we had to beat, and I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright, so 11.1, which is going to be a little bit lower than what we had before, which I believe was 11.7, but not that much lower. And again, remember that the idol team does not have the same investment as the May team. So it looks about equal overall, all things considered. Now let's go into another team right here, just for another test, because we want to give multiple teams chances here. And let's go into this one right here. We're gonna pop in Snow White, Heavy Arms, and also put in one more unit, and that unit will be I guess we'll just do a what unit were we going to use? Because again, water is pretty scarce on actual DPS. So I think in a lot of cases you will actually just use an off element character. So we'll put in Rapid Record right here. Let's make sure everybody has on a decent cube. Well, that's not gonna do it. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go with this team right here and see how it goes, and then obviously we'll change to idols right after that. 11. Let's just call this 11. Here are the results right here. So Anise 1.8, Maid Mass and Anchor about 5.5 each. Snow White 5.5 bill, and then Rapid Red Hood as the off element burst at 2.5 bill. So pretty decent overall. Again, all we're gonna do right here is just swap these two out for the idol duo, and let me just there we go, and just see how this goes. If it's anything like the last time, I do expect this to be like pretty close to maids, as it does seem like the idol duo is around equal in overall supporting power to the maid duo. So we'll see if that holds true in a moment here. Okay, so 10.2, a little bit lower, but not that much lower. And again, lower investment. Also, not the most like ideal team because we don't really get any real buffs for Rapid Record. I guess we have some explosion damage overall. The real difference is actually the Prika and the Mint not doing as much damage, because if you add the difference up, it actually pretty much equals almost, like within the margin of error, obviously. The actual, difference here. So that is like really, really, really close to what we would get with maids. And I'm gonna actually call it right there that yeah, Mint and Prika overall about equal to Mass and Anchor. Alright, so I think the real question is, do you pull for her? Well, that's going to depend on where you are in your account, and how much you're willing to spend overall in money or and in gems, and obviously what you're going to need and what your goals are. So I'm here in the solo raid right now. It is Ward a Week, which is kind of Pepega, because again, like I said, there aren't really a lot of Water Week, Water Element DPS units in the game right now. The last one we got was what do you call it, Sumerdoro, and that was almost a year ago. So it has been a very, very long time. So these are just some teams that I mocked up really quickly. Not ideal or anything. Obviously, when the actual challenge mode comes around, we're gonna get things a little bit better here. But you'll probably see a big team here with Nice and everything at the helm. Definitely there'll be a shotgun team for this fight, which I expect to do pretty well. You'll have a secondary warrior team using E-Leg, Boob, and Shock if you have her. And then you will also probably have your Miranda team, which leaves room for one more team, which is going to be the Mint and Prika team. Now, so this is 5 teams, and it does slot into one fairly nicely. Again, water is kind of difficult just because there aren't that many water units overall that you would really want to use. Like ideally for me, my Lamilla is an off burst. His Phantom here too. Guillotine is a serviceable unit. Not something I would say people would want to really try to build up, but she is there. And then of course there's also crust and bready combo if you want to go that route too, which some people, myself, might have to for this raid. We'll have to see. But yeah, there is a slot for both of them right here. Now, obviously, again, if you want to, you can replace the mint over here with Takana instead, or just any other burst too, and then just run this as a the team we had a couple of weeks ago, and then just drop the Prika, and here, instead of Prika, you use something like Bunny Aid, if you have her, which is, again, perfectly fine, and then in that case, you would use an off burst 3, whatever you have, and that will probably be just fine also. Um, I don't think you will see. You'll definitely see a small damage decrease that way, but nothing like super, uh, important. I don't think for most players. Obviously, if you are pushing for percentage and everything like that, I do think that Prika and Mint will give you a very, very small edge over the competition because a couple weeks ago in our testing, we do know that Mint by yourself, a lot of the times, at least in teams like this, is simply better than Bunny Aid and Grave. And I do expect that the same holds true here with these buffs, with both of them going all the time now, also. So, should you pull? I would say if you have Mint and you have enough resources, so you have your golden tickets, you have your gems, your other tickets here, and you're not super worried about summer, like maybe you have been playing for a little bit and you have a lot of summer units already, and you know you don't really have to pull a lot, sure, yes, Prika is a good pull, especially if you are pushing things like Raid and things like that. If you do not have Mint right now, and you are low on resources, I would say you should probably wait overall and just wishlist them. If you do only have to get one of them, Mint can work by yourself on more niche teams overall. Again, not a super high priority. Yes, together they are strong. Again, it seems to be about equal to maids overall, which is a pretty strong comparison, but they aren't like super meta breaking like Maids were. Remember, Maids came um over a year ago now, and when Maids came out, they were considered to be extremely powerful. This is a year later, and Prika and Mint, they're just very good. They're not meta breakers by any means. Now, again, they are standard banners, so they are wishlistable. Also, we have summer coming up, and that mysterious, long-awaited Nikke, who I wonder who it's going to be. So, anyways, that's going to be the video. Did you pull for Mint and or Prika? If you did, tell me how it went down below. As always, if you liked this video and found it helpful, a subscription, a like, and all of that, greatly appreciated. Anyways, I'm Wild Neptune. It's been a good one. Till next time.